Hi, Adam. Thanks for joining us
Hi, John. Yeah, good to
on
see
your own
you.
podcast.
Yeah.
Um, can you just, before we get started, can you just give us a little introduction, who you are, what you do, where you're from?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm Adam from Active Internet Marketing. We are a multi-channel digital marketing agency, particularly focused on generating leads for SME businesses. We do cover the whole country. We do have a few international clients, but we're in the East Midlands, and we do a lot of work in that area, supporting people. And we literally generate thousands of leads for hundreds of businesses every year.
It's a great tagline. How'd you get into it?
Um, Interestingly enough, I actually originally used to sell print advertising to SMEs. So back in the good old days of Yellow Pages, I was selling Yellow Pages advertising, and Yellow Pages really at that point was the Google of its day. You know, if you had a need for something and you needed a service or a product, you would pick up the Yellow Pages. Whereas obviously now people pick up their phone and they Google it. So it almost evolved into that from print advertising.
How did you manage that transition? That's quite a change to go from print and physical to digital. What did that look like?
Yeah, it was a lot easier back in the day to get to the top of Google. It was a lot less sophisticated and complex than it is now. And Google used to come and look at every website on the internet approximately every 2 weeks, and then it would decide where to position it. And then it would come and have another look 2 weeks later. So we literally would tinker with a series of websites, try and make some improvements, and then we'd wait 2 weeks and see if it got better or it got worse. And then we essentially deciphered the things that had a positive influence, and then we would apply those to our clients. And in the last 2 years, now we've spent £450,000 in research and development, but it was a lot easier many years ago, and we literally would play with it and try and work out, and it evolves and grew from there.
I can't not ask about you spending £500,000, right? So what on? That's a lot of R&D.
Absolutely. It's various facets, but essentially the biggest part is staff time. So we can actually make a claim for some tax credits against R&D. That's how I know exactly what the figures are. I'd recommend that every business looked into that, because it might be a potential for them. But if you are essentially creating a technology that is unique to you and it creates jobs, then you might be applicable for it. And the largest part is literally staff time. So we have to allocate a large proportion of our employees' workload to R&D. We have to track the nature of what they're researching. Everything is sort of traceable back to exactly what they're doing. And then we can make a claim against that. So yeah, we track it very, very closely. Hence, I know what the figures are.
You are a business. You're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So is that mostly your role now, like this management piece, or is it still learning?
My personal level of doing the R&D and technology side is very low compared to some of the true experts we have in the business. I still enjoy learning about it. I'd say I still have a vast enough knowledge to hold most conversations. I present on it quite regularly, but no, it's a small part of my time really. Most of my time, as I'm sure you can relate, is managing finances, talking to new potential customers, and all of the admin side that I would love to get away from.
But doing the jobs.
It keeps pulling you back in, doesn't it?
Which bit do you enjoy the most of all these different hats?
Talking to people. Yeah, absolutely. I think, we're a very people-focused business. Dealing with our clients, we build relationships with them. We really try and understand exactly what difference our marketing will make to them as a business, but to them as an individual. And I still get to have those conversations with people, and that's the bit of joy. Funnily enough, somebody rang me up yesterday afternoon. I was sitting in the office, and I spoke to her, and this lady, a client of ours, she's built a business over the last 2 years, very much a shoestring budget. She's really driven. She's an Aries, so you can imagine she's got a lot of goals, and she's built a fantastic business for herself and for her family. And we've been talking about supporting her with marketing for the last 12 months, really trying to handhold her through it. We started around 6 weeks ago. She actually put the costs on a credit card. It's a shoestring. She's still building it up. And it was a really big risk for her. But like I said, she's got a lot of aspirations. She's doing really well. And she called me up yesterday and she said, 6 weeks, we've had 2 new clients and we've got 2 literal orders where they've paid money. And that put the biggest smile on my face. And I'll actually show her this video when it's out, and she'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But no, that's what makes me smile. That's the bit I enjoy.
That's really good. So I suppose that my next question would be, in your sector, there's a lot of people who claim to do the same thing.
Yeah.
What would make you guys stand out, or what differentiates you from other people in the market?
Definitely. I'd say that there is a lot of people, like you said. Some of them are in a back bedroom, trying to decipher how you get to the top of Google. There are some big agencies, and a lot of people you speak to, often, they might be disheartened if they've tried it in the past. Their expectations were not set correctly. And even if it's worked and given them some sort of return, they may have expected a lot more. So I think in terms of what separates us, setting very realistic expectations with the client is huge. We need to make sure that they are aware what to expect. The other thing that separates us is the R&D, the amount of money we invest, like I said. And I'd say that the third big thing is that we will really try and understand the individuals as well as their business. And then when I do bring a new client to the team, I'll often say, this person, we need to achieve these objectives for the business. We need to get ranking for these keywords, perhaps. There's a very clear sort of process there. But I will also say, this guy wants to get a new van in the next 12 months, and he wants to have another engineer on the road. And he also wants to go on holiday with a partner. And that's what we're really working towards.
Quite a lot of deep fact finding there.
Yeah.
Personal goals. Is that an easy conversation?
Definitely. I think we do that with every person that we meet that we're potentially going to be working with. And I think it makes it more meaningful for them, for us, for the team, like I said. And that is the motivation for the team as well, really helping that business person grow their business. And, when we call them up 3-4 months into it, like I said, with that client yesterday, 6 weeks, and often they got some good news for us. And that then gives us the energy to keep going.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I mean, that business isn't easy. So what challenges are you facing as well?
Well, there's a constant amount of challenges, as I'm sure you can relate. But people really question, they say, how's AI going to affect SEO? And at the moment, I'm not too concerned because if you generate content in AI, which is a very easy job to do, you could get pages and pages coming up within seconds. Google essentially will ignore that content. So we've got a full team of content writers. We're generating content for our clients, but I don't think AI is going to injure us there anytime soon. We're always investing in R&D, like I said, so we're constantly changing our technology, and that is a challenge to keep up with it. Generally, I would say that we're in a positive position. We're growing, and we're onboarding new clients all the time. And there are challenges, but overall, we're in a very positive place, really.
Nice. What about the future? Where's that heading at the moment? Obviously growth.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're working towards a 5-year plan. That plan that we set out to achieve various objectives, we're probably 8 or 9 months into it. But we've gotten very aggressive growth that we're trying to achieve. obviously maintain profit percentages throughout that. We need to keep all our systems and our processes slick and efficient whilst we go through that growth. And touch wood, 8 months in, it has been really positive. But yeah, future expansion is really a hot topic for us, and trying to make sure that all the decisions we make, all of the ways that we improve the business are continually scalable as well.
So those growth plans do sound aggressive. Is that location? Is it market saturation? Is it different services? Is it all of them?
All of them to a degree. We want to grow the market share for our core products.
Yeah.
We particularly want to help more SME businesses in the East Midlands, and so we're being very proactive doing that. We are releasing some new products later in the year, so that's an element of it. But the biggest thing is customer numbers, growing our market share. Definitely.
That's fair. And with aggressive growth comes risk. How do you feel about
that? I love it.
Yeah.
I definitely have quite a high tolerance for risk. I'm essentially funding most of that growth myself.
Yes.
Through the expansion, we're reinvesting everything back into the business. And yeah, I'm very motivated by it. So yeah, the risk is good. I like.
So other than the business growth, what else are you working towards personally, sort of outside of that?
Personally, I've got a wedding coming up very soon, as you know. So that's it's actually a really important year of my life this year, personally. So I'm overjoyed about that. I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be a real celebration. With we've got literally people coming from Canada, because my partner's Canadian, as you know. We've got people from Europe, Australia, New York. Lots of our family are spread across the globe. So it's going to be a big party. I'm really looking forward to that. And then in terms of the business, like I said, we've got a 5-year plan. At that kind of stage, I would like to exit from the business, would be the ideal goal. And hopefully sit on a beach somewhere and get some well-deserved rest. So that's my personal motivation.
Is that what success looks like to you? Like sit on a beach?
Yeah, I would say financial independence.
Yeah,
really. If I can achieve everything I've set out to do, it will give me a lot more financial freedom, a lot more stability. And then myself and my wife at that time, we want to travel. Yeah, that's a big motivator for us. So I'd like to grab a backpack and take some very limited stuff, and we'll go off and travel.
Nice.
For 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months maybe, and that's the goal. That's the dream. Yeah, cool.
Here's the other one. What are you happy to get out of the podcast?
In terms of the podcast, I think I quite enjoy it. I love talking to people, as I said, and I think it's an opportunity to not only speak with you, but speak with the other guests we're going to have in the future. Both of us were chatting earlier about how we feel we'll learn from that. We're both always learning, so that's exciting for me. And I think hopefully, particularly businesses in the local area will find it interesting. They'll learn something from it as well, and it'll be mutually beneficial for us and the viewers. So that's kind of motivating me there.
Good. I'm also going to attack you with some bonus questions as well. I'm thinking of.
Great.
It'd be bad if I didn't interrogate.
I like the challenge.
Right? So hopefully we're going to have a couple of people within business listening in, at least one or two.
Yeah.
What would be your biggest tip to them to help grow the company?
I think starting out right is the key. Yeah. And I think, getting the right plan. If I look at our expansion plans and what we're doing, every element of what we're trying to achieve and succeed in has been planned out in advance. And the plan doesn't always go the way you hoped.
Yes.
But I think if you don't have that plan, then you're potentially not setting out in the right direction, potentially fail. So my biggest advice would be plan in immense detail, and really consider all the opportunities, all the potential threats, and make sure that you've got a really clear route to try and get to where you want to get to from where you're beginning.
Like a fail on paper or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. That's good. And speaking of fail, worst thing you've ever done or biggest failure? Because we've got to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. I might need a moment to think about that. I fail all the time. So there is a big list, but I tend to learn from them, take the learning, and not hang on to them.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say there's a particular failure that springs to mind, but no, I think every day we're working to a plan, like I said, and it doesn't always go to the plan. And you readjust, you pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and you go again. And I think it's a really important part of business, exactly as you said. So yeah, lots of small failures that were lessons, but no, I think that's part of the process.
I think resilience is critical, actually. It's keeping going.
Definitely, as you know, well known. Obviously, we know each other, and both of us, it's a challenging thing, but the challenge is part of the joy from it as well. So,
what about being positive, biggest success, or anything you'd like to share on that? Not you're married.
Yeah, just got it. Yeah,
let's try.
I mean, I definitely don't consider myself a success. So I think I'm still learning. I'm still aspiring to get to certain places. But if I could say that I've had some success, and I think it would be the young people in the business, seeing them grow, seeing them mature. We've got new people starting all the time. Most months we might have a new starter, and even in their first few days, you can see them maturing and learning and growing. And if I can claim any success, I think it's with the people we work with, and with the clients, the businesses we support, and how we help them grow.
Awesome. And if people want to find out more, hopefully they do, where can they find out?
LinkedIn. Yeah. I'm on LinkedIn constantly. Or our company website, Active Internet Marketing. And yeah, I mean, I'm always keen to speak to people, always keen to try and help them with their business. Even if they potentially don't want to spend any money yet, happy to have a conversation and give them some support. And I'm quite passionate about that. So yeah,
that's great. Thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot, John.